My name is Julian. I am a partner in the Citizenship and Golden Visa Advisor with Holborn Pass, also Holborn Assets. And I myself am a global citizen. I hold multiple passports, multiple residencies. I've been living as a global citizen for many, many, many years, both personally and professionally, which is sort of how I got into this industry. It kind of attaches to me personally and professionally. So I have been able to greatly use my global mobility. It's been very empowering, and I like to connect my clients to that same empowerment and help them along the way in using it. So that's why I got into this area, and we're going to talk about some of those tools and resources that you can use for that same goal here today. So let's begin. We're going to discuss today about who we are, Holborn Assets, Holborn Pass, why us, and some of the different programs and the opportunities that the programs offer here in 2025, because they do change from time to time. So this is always going to be like an update. And I have a specific kind of power play that I put together at the end that I think you'll be interested in. And we have a question and answer scenario that we'll do as we go along, but we'll focus on them at the end primarily. Okay, so Holborn Assets. Holborn Pass is sort of a subsidiary of Holborn Assets. Holborn Pass handles the global mobility programs and products, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. Holborn Assets is a global wealth management firm and financial services firm. It's been around for nearly 30 years. Holborn is the quintessential family business success story. Started out as a family business, that one small office, and is now a global firm with well over 500 employees. We got 20 offices across the globe. We have an office in Portugal. I specifically mentioned that because Portugal is our signature solution. We focus a lot on Portugal, but we offer a bunch of different programs. We've had well over 20,000 clients so far. We've had over 1,000 Golden Visas clients, and we introduce our clients to a lot of different opportunities for them to invest through. But some of the opportunities that we introduce our clients to are exclusive to our clientele. So some of the things you're going to hear tonight are exclusive to Holborn clients. And that's what sets us apart in this industry, that we do have certain exclusivity in certain areas that really, we believe, a lot of our clients find attractive. But since 2000, the Portugal Golden Visa sort of switched up in 2023. And so we have I call it the new program, which is the 2024 version on, and the old program, which is 2023 before. But since then, we've had well over 300 Portugal Golden Visas done. We have done 38, almost 40 Golden Visas so far this year. And we are the number one, Holborn is the number one representative for Portugal Golden Visas in that program. So we have a trust pilot. Give us a check out there. The Holborn service, the Holborn solution is a full spectrum, holistic approach to your global mobility needs. We, from beginning to end, we're all you need. We handle it all. Or we assist you on what we can't do, because there's certain times we can't do things. For example, in the USA programs, the programs require, an interview at the embassy. Absolutely nobody can be involved in that besides you and the embassy people. So we can't assist you in things like that, but we can help prepare you in things of that nature. So everything that we could possibly do, we do with you. It's a one-stop shop, a very holistic service that we get you from, your dream to your reality. It's a success story in the making. This is just a snapshot of some of our more popular programs. Everything we do is not shown on this page. I mean, we've done Australia, we do Canada, we have just launched Latvia, we do Hungary. This is simply a snapshot of some of our more popular programs, but by no means we're not limited to this. We can do pretty much any high net worth investment program from Australia to Vanuatu. If any investment immigration program, we can find the solution for it. Tonight, though, These are the specific programs we're going to be discussing. Portugal, United States, St. Kitts, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, Dominica, Greece, the UAE, and Spain. There's one more that's not on here because it's a recent launch. That's Latvia. We'll talk about that at the end. Very interesting program. But as you can see here, the only program we're going to discuss tonight that does not give you the opportunity to acquire citizenship is the UAE. Citizenship in the UAE is very, very difficult to acquire. You essentially need to be born into it. But other than that, all of these programs, well, the Caribbean programs are citizenship programs, so they're direct to a passport program. The other programs are residency programs that provide you a pathway to citizenship. What sets Portugal apart from them all is that Portugal is a no physical relocation, no physical residency requirement. You have to be in the US, you have to be in Spain, you have to be in Greece to become eligible for those citizenships. Spain, by the way, does not recognize dual citizenship. So 99% of people do have to renounce their old citizenship, their original citizenship, to acquire Spanish citizenship. But Portugal is a dual citizenship country. And from the date that we file your Golden Visa in Portugal, your 5 years to eligibility for citizenship begins ticking away. So, and it doesn't require any physical residency. Once that 5-year mark hits, we get you into the citizenship program. And just to let you know, all of the Portugal Golden Visa investment opportunities that I'm going to introduce you to tonight is premised on you moving into the citizenship phase in year 5. And with that, let's talk about Portugal. Portugal is the most popular program in the world right now and has been since 2023. Portugal in the United States, actually. Whether you like Trump or dislike Trump, for the high net worth community, a Trump economy is a very good thing. And so the U.S. and the Portugal programs are the two most popular programs in the world. But if you're a U.S. citizen, the U.S. programs don't do you any good. So Portugal is the standout because almost everyone in the world, if you're an EU citizen, Portugal doesn't help you, but the US does. So, those are the two most popular programs right now. So we're going to cover those first and second. But Portugal is the popular one. It has Portugal represents a retirement strategy that just about anyone can use. It's extremely popular with US clients to use as a retirement strategy. But retiring in the EU is an ultimate strategy for anyone, really. It's a great plan B to have because it does not require physical relocation until you choose to move. And with all of these programs, but I'll specifically mention it here, having a golden visa does not make you a tax resident in the EU. Having a Portugal golden visa does not make you a Portuguese tax resident. That is something that you have to do independent of the golden visa residency because the golden visa is not a physical relocation unless you choose to. So should you want to become a tax resident of Portugal, that's possible. Should you not want to be a tax resident of Portugal, that is by default what happens with the Portugal Golden Visa. So that's always good to know. Portugal does have a physical stay requirement, though, for the Golden Visa. You have to visit Portugal 7 days, 1 week each year, 14 days cumulative over 2 years. And, but, it's Portugal, just go on vacation, The minimum investment is $500,000 for what we're going to talk about. And, but there's options involved. So we're going to talk about primarily some hospitality projects, but we can introduce you to funds if that's what you're looking for. So the hospitality projects that I'm going to introduce you to are in Porto and the Algarve. There was a Lisbon project, but that has been sold out. There was 6 options left in it, and they all sold out last week. I did not get a chance to update this, but so we're going to talk tonight about the Porto and the Algarve options. Just to show you what was available in Lisbon, it was this project here. The hotel up here was phase 1, so that happens first. And then the hotel is in the back up here. Then this in here was phase 2. This was the first Golden Visa investment option that they released. The one that just sold out was down here in these two rows. And like I said, that just sold out. Option, the fourth phase is supposed to be back here somewhere, but we have no idea when they're going to do that. Should that happen, when that happens, it will happen. When that happens, that's something we will be updated on, and I'll most likely tell you about it in one of our later webinars. But this one, unfortunately, has been sold out. This is what that opportunity looked like. And I just wanted to show you this anyhow, because this was an opportunity that was exclusive to our clients, and I wanted you to see how such an opportunity is built, because there's a lot of flexibility in this kind of option, and this is the kind of option that you were able to get a return on your investment. You were able to get an upfront compensation. You were able to get complimentary buyback. It's important to note, and I always like to highlight this, that keep in mind these are immigration programs. Immigration programs. So your primary goal, your ultimate return is the citizenship and the residency. That's the primary goal. Everything else is the cherry on top. And this here shows you how these programs, how these opportunities can be built to make that cherry much bigger. But this is sold out now, unfortunately, but you can get an idea of what these opportunities are built to look like. But again, this was exclusive to us, to our clients. This opportunity is still available, so I would like to introduce you to this one. This is the Gaia Riverside, which you can see over here. It's not there yet. This is a full build from ground to finish. And if you can see here, this black building and the white building next to it, that's all one attachment. This is a Hilton. This long white building here it's called the Lodge. It's a Marriott Autograph Collection. So just to give you an idea of the nightly rates you're talking about for this area, take a good look at this boardwalk right here. And as you can look up the river, so when I say the boardwalk, you realize I do mean the boardwalk. This is where it is happening. This is the Gaia Riverside. This is the heart and hub of Porto's wine district. This is it right here. These are wineries back here and things like that, and a lot of other stuff. These are really good restaurants through here. This is a tourism hub for Porto. And this you can see these pictures here. That's a rendering of what the rooms will look like. These are not going to be your standard hotel rooms. In Europe, they have a term called the apart hotel. These are like mini apartments that are rented out as hotel rooms within the hotel. As you can see, the location is fantastic. And this is a full build. Like I said, this is a development project. It's scheduled to be opened in Q4 2026. This is a $500,000 investment. However, you're only going to have to come up with $399, as there's a 101 upfront compensation that's immediately returned to you. So your $399 plus the 101 upfront compensation totals your $500. You do get 3 weeks of complimentary stay here. So, like I said earlier, Portugal does require you to spend 1 week per year. So that your accommodation, you can choose to stay here and use those 3 weeks for that. And at least your accommodation will be free, right? This is a 6-year relationship. Year 5, I'd like to highlight this again. Year 5 is when you transition into your citizenship, your Portuguese citizenship. Year 6 is when you reach the end of this relationship, of this opportunity, at which point you have a choice to make. You can, the Gaia Riverside will buy back your share, which is $500,000 back to you, or you can keep your share and take full ownership of the unit. Either way, the Golden Visa ends at that point. You have your citizenship, doesn't matter. If you decide to acquire the unit, then you have to pay the taxes and the fees for the commercial real estate transaction. And you can then use this as passive income. There is a 4 to 5% annual return you will enjoy with this, but that's based purely upon the hospitality market and the tourism market. And again, remember, it's tourism, so it's seasonal for the most part. This is a major area, so there's a lot of business traffic that goes through here, but it's tourism. So that's the Porto River Gaia Riverside opportunity. Again, $399 with the 101 out of pocket and the 500,000 buyback at year 6. This is one of our Agave options. It is a hotel branded with IHG hotels. It's called Hotel Indigo. You can see its proximity to the beach here. This is an existing operational hotel. Okay, this is an existing operational hotel, and it's simply being rebranded and refurbished by IHG. If you go to the IHG website and punch in Hotel Indigo, you will see they're taking reservations for June 2025. The proximity to the beach, you've seen that. It has the spa is a organic vegan theme to the spa, which is sort of a niche thing they're going to try out here in the Algarve. The IHG brand is represented very well across the Algarve. This is just one more foothold they will have in the region. You do get a complimentary stay of 1 week here, which you can use in any of the IHG hotels in the Algarve, so you don't have to stay at this one. This is again 500,000, but this will be a 500,000 out of pocket because the upfront compensation is not completely upfront. It is a compensation that's given to you in 3 steps. So you'll put up the 500, and then roughly 30 days after that, you'll get 125 euros as your compensation in return. At year 5, when you're transitioning to citizenship, then you'll get another 250, and then at year 6, when you culminate the investment, that's when you'll get the final 125 back. So a little bit different. You still get the full buyback of the 500, but it's just staggered a little bit. It's just staggered throughout the entire relationship as opposed to all upfront like it is with Porto. We do have another Algarve opportunity that we just launched earlier this week. It's built like the original one I showed you back here, wherever I showed you that. It's built sort of like this one. It will have the upfront 101 and the buyback also, and it will have a loan option to help with the financing on that of a 50,000 euro loan. You can opt on that one. If you would be interested in that, just send me an email and tell me you're interested in the Algarve opportunity called Solacqua, and I can tell you more about that. Wasn't able to update this presentation for the night because what is that new? So those opportunities are sort of a balance between just get me to residency and the investment area where you're dealing with guaranteed buybacks and upfront ROI and things, upfront returns and things like that. However, there are some people who want the pure investment route. And if the pure investment route is what you're interested in, then we can introduce you to various funds. There are thousands of funds in the world, but only 30 to 35 are actually eligible for the Golden Visa. So how I handle this is if you would be interested in a fund, send me an email, say you're interested in a Golden Visa fund. Here are the funds that we can introduce you to. They focus on hospitality, Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, and the rest. Simply let me know which fund you would be interested in. I would then set up a consultation with you, and I will bring in the fund manager. I will introduce you directly to the fund manager, and you can refer all of your questions directly with them. Okay? There's no reason for you to talk to me about the funds when I can bring in the experts that run the program, run the fund for you. So you will be in the same virtual room with those individuals that manage the fund, and we can hash out all your concerns in that. But these are the specific areas that the funds that we typically introduce our clients to. These are the areas that they tend to invest in: hospitality, Bitcoin. So if you see anything on that list, if you want the pure investment route and you see something on that list that interests you, just let me know and I'll introduce you to the fund manager and we can go from there. However, some people don't want bothered with any of that. Like I said, these are immigration programs, and they just want that residency. Get me to that citizenship. And that is this option. I call this the no frills option because that's exactly what it is. It's just a, boom, boom, boom type deal. Again, total investment 500,000. But how this is going to work is through a third-party relationship we have with a partner. They will provide you a loan for the 500,000 euros. That loan will be sent to your account in 4 installments. You will then use that money to make the Golden Visa investment. And that's pretty much it at that point. You pay 168,000 for access to the loan, for the fees, the interest, the whole 9 yards. You just pay 168 to have that loan issued, and it's a 7-year term. You don't have any exposure to the investment. The money will be sent to your account. You send the money to your Portuguese account. It's then invested into the Golden Visa, and you just sit back and wait for year 5 to happen so you can transition to citizenship. Year 7, this completely terminates, and you just walk away with no further commitment. You've already got your citizenship anyhow. But this is a very straightforward, you're in it for the residency, and that's what this is. So should that be of interest, this is an opportunity as well. Email me and ask, and we'll hold a consultation. I can go into more detail about this. But that is the Portugal opportunities that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. Again, there's a bit of an eclectic bunch there. Pure investors, a balanced approach, and this very no frill, straightforward one. Essentially, the investment goes from 168 up to the 500 and more. It's all up to you. But again, Portugal is running about 2 years with the application approval time. Now, in January, the government announced a new system of procedures that was going to speed this up to the original 9 to 12 months. That's what it normally used to take, 9 to 12 months. There's a backlog from the changeover in 23 to 24. They have told us they're going to eliminate that backlog by June. So my understanding would then be that all these new applications from 24 on would begin processing from June forward. The 9 to 12 months would take you into the summer Q3 of next year for approval. Best case scenario. But just be advised that as of now, you can expect at least a 2-year approval time on the Portugal program. That's just how it's happening. So stepping away from Portugal now, let's talk about the US of A. Like I said, whether you like Trump or hate Trump, for the high net worth community, the United States, Trump and a Trump economy is a major power move. Under Trump 1.0, it has already been proven, under Trump 1.0, the American high net worth community increased their net worth by 77%. That was without all the deregulation, the focus on AI and crypto that Trump 2.0 is ushering in. So who knows what will happen? Trump 2.0, they're already throwing the word trillionaire. Who knows what's going to happen? But Trump is deregulating, and it's a wealth-generating economy under Trump. That's what Trump 1.0 showed us. So within the EB5 program, there are 2 opportunities I'd like to introduce you to. This one is especially appealing to some people, some investors, because it qualifies as rural. Now, in the EB5 program, you have rural and you have urban. Rural gets expedited process. So for this particular investment opportunity, you can expect a processing time. It says 6 to 12 months, but realistically, it's 8 to 12 months. This is in the West Texas oil fields, which are among the most productive oil fields in the world. This is considered a green project, and it is rural. So you do have the expedited time frame. This project offers a fixed dividend, which is above and beyond most EB5s. This is essentially an 800,000 in, you invest 800,000, and 3.5 years later, you're going to get 1 million back. The investment is staggered a little bit. So if you need to free up a little bit of capital, you'll have some time to do that. This is a $400,000 deposit. And then the way it's structured is 2 months later, another 200,000, and then 2 months after that, the final 200,000. Now, we have some flexibility with this schedule. Ultimately, the full 800,000 needs to be paid in the first year, preferably around that 6 to 8 month mark. Like I said, there is some flexibility here, but if you want to pay the full 800,000 up front, you can do that as well. But Trump is unleashing the energy reserves and the industries, deregulating the industry in the U.S. So, this could become a very, very popular option for some. So also, again, because of the staggered payments, it gives you some time to free up some capital. Also, you only need 400,000 up front. Again, all of these numbers I'm going to give you tonight are investment numbers. There's going to be taxes, fees, program costs that are in addition to all these numbers. So also just keep that in mind. The other EB5 investment I'd like to talk to you about is considered urban. So this is going to put you at the more traditional 16-month approval time. This is not an expedited one like the rurals are. But this particular outfit is already established in Las Vegas. This is actually phase 2 of their Las Vegas operation. They have already expanded internationally in Saudi Arabia, and they're expanding domestically in the United States. This particular one, their original setup, is just off the Las Vegas Strip, literally a 5-minute drive to the Trump International, Treasure Island, the Venetian, Wynn Las Vegas. So that's the neighborhood you're in. It already has some pretty good tenants with Universal Parks and Resorts and the John Wick Experience, which is a Lionsgate production, if you're familiar with the Hollywood people. This is a very typical EB5 project. What's great about this project is it's already been approved for 6,000 EB5 applicants. 3,000 of those applicants have already been receiving payouts from this project. So it's well established, it's well accredited, and with this opportunity here, it's also more accessible. You can pay the full 800,000, always an option. However, with this opportunity, you can put 400,000 up front, and then there's a loan you can get for the remaining 400,000. And this loan is 400,000, which is a bit rare for the EB5 community. A lot of them are 300,000, but this is a 400,000 dollar loan. It's payable over 5 years. And should you be interested in this, again, send me an email because I can give you the entire breakdown month to month of what the payments will be. You can pay this loan off at any time without penalty. So if you want to put the 400 down, utilize the loan so you can free up some capital in a year and pay it off then. No problem. But again, this is an urban project. So this falls into that 16-month area of approval. But again, this one has the loan opportunity. So, and some people will find that very attractive, I believe. So moving out of the United States, we're going to talk for a minute about passport programs. Now, Portugal and the United States are both residency programs that lead to citizenship, and both of them are 5 years. Portugal, however, requires no physical residency in the country. The U.S., on the other hand, that is a green card that you will be getting, permanent residency. And the U.S. green card does require there's no actual hard line of how much time you have to spend in the U.S., but it does require some U.S. presence. So you simply cannot not go to the U.S. To get to that citizenship. However, these are direct to citizenship programs. You make the investment and the approval time happens, and then you get citizenship, which then makes you eligible for the passport. I'm going to talk first about the St. Kitts opportunity because this one is fairly new, and I'm not really sure how many other people out there are talking about it. So I want to bring it to your attention because this one has a little bit of a twist to it. In St. Kitts, tourism is huge. It's 60% of their GDP, and it's a growing part of the economy down there. And it's very, very important to them. So they've decided that they need to expand their international airport, the Robert R. Bradshaw, and they've decided to bring that into the citizenship program because the citizenship program generates a lot of interest for them, a lot of funding. So it's a great way to connect the necessary funding with the mechanism that'll do it. This falls under what they call their public benefit option inside their program. They have a donation option, a hotel share real estate option. This is the public benefit option. It's a $250,000 option. And what they're offering here, what they've said, is this will get expedited, for lack of a better word, processing. This will be processed faster. They're saying faster than 6 to 8 months. I'm telling you, it'll be at least 6 to 8 months. But the idea here is most of the Caribbean, all of the Caribbean opportunities, should you invest now, you'll be getting that passport sometime next year. This particular investment is being sold at, they're telling us that should you invest now, you would get this passport this year. So, because this is only February. But again, 6 to 8 months. Something about these timeframes also on all of these programs, they can change at any time. It happens, something happens in the world, and all of a sudden people rush to a particular program. And look, these are government programs. They're not going to send more workers to handle the rush. It just creates a backlog, which just lengthens the approval time. So it's always about, on all of these opportunities, you always want to move as quickly as you are comfortable moving, because when you submit your application, that's where you go on the waiting list. And so the longer you wait, the farther down it'll be. So with all of these programs, it's always, you want to make the move as fast as you are comfortable moving. Don't rush it. They're major decisions. They impact the whole family. There's a lot of money at stake here. Well, not at stake, but there's a lot of money involved here. But you do want to move as fast as you're comfortable moving so that you can just get on that list. St. Kitts, of the 5 Caribbean countries that offers passport programs, St. Kitts is the most powerful passport. And it does offer EU visa-free access to the EU, Brazil, Hong Kong. Russia, I always like to highlight that. That is actually a very unique visa-free access point. Very few passports actually offer visa-free access to Russia and China. U.S. currently has visa-free access to Brazil, but that's supposed to be ending this year. So, that for U.S. clients, that might be appealing. As with Portugal, Portugal is an EU country, so having an EU passport means you can live anywhere you want in the EU, 30 plus countries, anywhere you want. So once you get your Portuguese passport, if you want to live in the Czech Republic, you go. If you want to live in Italy, you can go. The Caribbean countries have a similar paradigm. They call it CARICOM, and it gives you various rights across other members of the CARICOM. So that's always something I like to bring up. But the St. Kitts citizenship is a legacy asset. It does work. It does pass on with descent. So not all the programs, not all the Caribbean programs especially do that. The St. Kitts program is a legacy investment, is a legacy asset. That citizen will pass on by descent. And again, this specific public benefit opportunity does give you the quicker approval time as opposed to the donation or something like that. $250,000. Now, a lot of people want that second passport. They like the Caribbean programs because it offers that second passport, but they want a tangible asset. They want something asset backed. And they have heard about all of these different hotel and shares that you can acquire in the Caribbean programs, and you buy into the hotel shares, and then you get dividends and things like that. But there's a unique aspect to that with Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda actually has a traditional home ownership option. St. Kitts does as well, but it's very difficult to make it work. Here in Antigua Barbuda, we can set you up with what's called the veranda estates. This is traditional home ownership. Looks very much like the picture there. 2-bedroom villas, 3-bedroom villas. The Antigua and Barbuda program requires a minimum of 300,000, but for this traditional home ownership option, you're going to be in the 400 to 500,000 range for the 2 and 3 bedrooms. But again, it's a tangible asset. You'll actually have home ownership here. You can move into this and live your retirement years in this if you want. Until then, if you wanted to use it for passive income, you can also rent this out on the short-term rental market. However, you're not simply going to put this on Airbnb or VRBO. You do need to work, should you want to do that, put it on the passive rental market, you do need to work with a local realtor and as a property management type setup, and they will handle that for you. The islands are small, they rely a lot on tourism, and they focus on sustainable practices within the tourism industry because these islands, they're natural resources. And so they have to balance the traffic of the tourism, the effects of tourism with maintaining and preserving the islands. So again, you can't put this on the passive income market while you're waiting to move in, but you need to work with a local realtor in a property management agreement. You cannot put this on Airbnb. But this is a passport also that gives you visa-free access to Russia and China and Brazil, along with the EU, Monaco and Singapore. Again, it's a CARICOM member, like I stated before. This is, like I said, St. Kitts does offer a traditional home ownership, not at this price point. I believe that starts at 800,000 plus. There's a lot of working parts in it. It's difficult to make all that come together for St. Kitts. This is a very streamlined opportunity for traditional home ownership and the second passport at this price point, and it's very unique in that aspect with the Caribbean. Moving on to Grenada. I mentioned Grenada specifically because of the Caribbean passport program. Grenada is the only one that will make you eligible, will allow you to become eligible for the United States E2 investor visa. And a lot of people find that attractive. And a lot of people come to the Grenada program solely for that E2 eligibility. The E2 is a non-immigrant visa, but it is an immigrant visa that you become eligible for through the Grenada program. Now, there's 3 things I'm going to talk to you about here. One of them is not shown here simply because of space, but in Grenada, should you just be interested in the E2 program, they do have a donation option, which is up to 4 applicants, so a family of 4, whether it's 1 person or 4 applicants. $235,000 is the investment threshold, and that'll get you to your Grenada passport and citizenship. With the hotel shares, I mentioned this one specifically because it has, as you can see here, 100% buyback option. You can get a buyback at 5 years, or you can push the relationship to 7 years. Those final 2 years allows you to generate some rental income, which will total $23,000 and some change. That is a $270,000 investment. And the third opportunity I want to tell you about, which I don't have here, is a hotel shares opportunity that we have in Grenada. And the only reason I mention this one is because should you be interested in the US E2 investment visa, should that be where your long-term plan is, you must have a Grenadian physical address. You cannot apply to that program with your Grenada passport and your Egyptian address, or your Grenada passport and your Russian address, or your Grenada passport and your Turkish address. It doesn't work. You have to have a physical address, a physical presence in Grenada to use the E2 program. Our other hotel shares option will provide you that physical address to use for the E2 visa, should that be your long-term goal. So should your long-term goal with the Grenada program be the E2, send me an email, tell me that's what you're looking to do, and I'll tell you all about this other program. It's hotel shares, but the important thing about that is it will give you the physical address to connect with your Grenadian passport for the E2 program. Like I said, in the Dominica back here, just highlighting about those hotel shares. They're difficult to get in 99% of the cases. However, this particular opportunity in Dominica is Secret Bay, it's a Relais Chateau property. You can go to the Relais Chateau website, punch it in, you'll see it. It has been awarded numerous awards, best #1 Caribbean hotel in 4 years. Why I mention this one is if you want that hotel shares, that asset-backed investment with a Caribbean passport, this is the only one of the Caribbean opportunities that has a historically proven track record of paying out those hotel shares. In 99% of the cases, those other programs, it's a headache to try and actually get the payouts. But this one has been historically shown, has a historical track record of paying them out regularly and reliably. So should you want that Caribbean passport, that second passport, and you want to go the hotel shares route because of that dividend construct, this one is the one that has the proven track record. It is Dominica. It is a $220,000 investment. Well, it starts there. These are all minimum investments. Again, visa free to China, Russia, Brazil, Hong Kong, Singapore. Not the strongest Caribbean passport, but it does provide you some very good visa-free access. And again, if you already have a strong passport, like a British passport, Australian passport, US passport, these passports complement them very well. If you have a passport that's on the weaker side of things, the less powerful, like an Indian passport, then this does really complement it very well. It gives you access to things like these visa-free accesses that you don't have with your original passport. So that's what makes these Caribbean programs very appealing. I try to highlight an opportunity in them that is of interest. So this is also a legacy asset. Dominica does allow the citizenship to pass on with generations. So that rounds out our Caribbean our Caribbean a little part there. Let's go back to the EU where we're going to talk about Greece. This is back to a Golden Visa, a residency by investment. How this differs from Portugal is temporary residency. That's the Golden Visa. It's built and designed. The Gold Visa program is built and designed to get you to year 5 where you apply for citizenship. Greece, on the other hand, this is permanent residence. As long as you hold this property ownership, you keep the residency. Now, Greece has 3 tiers, 250, 400, and 800,000. 800,000, if you wanted to buy a house, a villa to move into and live, that's at your 800,000 range. You can do it at the 400,000 range, but it has to be like on a hilltop on some secluded island somewhere where there's less than 3,000 people. So it's very, very difficult to find anything in that range. Greece has now really become either 250 or 800,000. At the 250 range, unfortunately, you're not going to, this particular project, you could move into should you want that, but it's not built for that. This is built for putting housing on the local real estate market, on the local rental market. And this is the newest project on the Athenian Riviera. This is the upper part of the Athens Riviera, and it's in Piraeus, which is the only real part of the Riviera you're getting residential real estate built on now. The rest of the Riviera is just saturated with hospitality and resorts. This is the only part of the Riviera where you're really getting residential investments, and it's an up-and-coming area. It's just been going through the roof over the last 5 years, to be honest with you. These apartments come fully furnished. You get 10 years of property management, 10 years guaranteed ROI. You're guaranteed $7,500, but it's 3%. So whatever that factors out to, but it's going to be at least $75,000. This is brand new, just been released last month. It's expected to be finished by the middle of 2027. So we have a lot of opportunity inside this. There were, as you can see here, 1-bedroom units, studios, and twins. A twin is a larger unit that's been divided into 2 small studios, perfect for the university rental market, for the university student market, which there's a bunch of around this project. Or you just get a studio, or you can just get a 1-bedroom. There were 2-bedroom units available in this project. Sold one of them already. There's 1 remaining. Should your vision be that you're actually going to move into this, like I said, not built for that, but I spoke with a developer. It would be feasible, but realistically, it would only be feasible at that 2-bedroom unit. So should that be of interest to you, you really want to move because there's only one left. The other one's reserved. Could become open again should that investment fall through, but there's one available right now, 2-bedroom, and that would give you the opportunity to utilize these 10 years of ROI, and then maybe 10 years from now you retire, you move into that unit. Like I said, not built for that, but I spoke with the developer. It could be worked out. So yeah, this is new. This is the largest project that's happening in Greece right now. So there's a lot of availability on this, other than the 2-bedroom units. And depending upon where you're at in this building, seaside views, non-seaside views, lower floor, upper floor, these prices are going to fluctuate a little bit. So, but these are general guidelines. The twins are going to give you the twins are going to be at least 250, the studio is at least 265, and the 1-bedroom is at least 270. If you're interested in the 2-bedroom, message me and email me, and we'll talk about it. Okay, this is the Greece Golden Visa, about a 6 to 8 month application approval. The Caribbean is going to take you over a year, other than the St. Kitts public benefit option. Greece or Portugal, at least 2 years. In the United States, the rural 9 to 12 months, the urban 16 to 18 months. Okay. Now let's talk about the UAE. Since we're talking about real estate, cannot talk about real estate investing without talking about the UAE, because this is one of the hottest markets in the world for real estate investors. We do have a UAE Golden Visa. Should you be interested in the UAE Golden Visa, that requires a real estate purchase, minimum 550,000 US dollars. However, we do sell the vast majority of UAE real estate just as a standalone sale. Can always add, as long as it's 550,000, can always add the Golden Visa to it. But again, we can just sell real estate as a standalone investment in the UAE. We provide privileged access to all of these developers. If you know anything about UAE real estate, you know these names. These are the preeminent names in Emirati real estate development. We publish you can see the image here. This is one page of a 3 to 4 page property portfolio sheet that we put out monthly. This will give you an idea of this is a close-up of what you see in that sheet. So you can see the kind of information that we provide on that property sheet. The name of the development, a picture of the development, where it's at, what's available, the price range, the completion, because most of them are, these are developments. We offer exclusive off-plan, and we do have on-market options. Again, you can buy real estate as a standalone investment, or you can put it in with the Golden Visa. The Golden Visa, again, requires 550,000 US dollar minimum investment, but this is Dubai. We have sold penthouses in the 30 to $40 billion range. The sky's the limit in Dubai. Literally, they just keep building up. Again, if you're interested in the latest property sheet that we have for the UAE, email me and I will get that to you. And just to make a point this out right here at the bottom, you'll see the word payment plan. Each of these developers, for each of these individual developments, they structure some form of payment plan. 80-20 is 80% upfront, 20% after. There's 70-30, 65-35, 60-40, 80-20. There's a whole range of them, and you'll see that all listed on the sheet like you see here. And that's the UAE. Again, we have access to the best in the UAE. So if you are a genuine, real estate investor, if you're a sophisticated investor and you want a foothold in some of the best real estate markets around the world, the UAE is on your list, and we can connect you to the best it has to offer. And again, the UAE Golden Visa takes very quick approval time. UAE is very efficient, very quick approval time. You can have that residency approved in 1 to 2 months. Really around 1 month, but just to give you go on the far end. But again, you don't need to. This can be just a standalone real estate investment. Moving into the last 2 programs I want to tell you about. Spain. Spain was the most popular program for many, many years. Portugal is now, but Spain used to wear that crown because it's Spain. I mean, who doesn't love Spain? One of my residencies is in Spain. I love living in the Costa del Sol. Unfortunately, with the current political situation they have there, they're targeting the Golden Visa as a bad guy because they got to target somebody. And so they're closing the Golden Visa down. The Golden Visa closes the first week of April, which means we can still get you a Golden Visa in Spain, but that application has to be filed by the last week of March, which means real estate's out of the question. It takes 2 to 4 months for a real estate transaction to be finalized in Spain. Not going to make that deadline. So the only opportunity in Spain right now is this opportunity I'd like to introduce you to. This is like the Portugal opportunities, a hotel investment opportunity. And this hotel happens to be based in Madrid. It offers an upfront return of 132. Because the developer really wants to try and sell this out before the visa ends, it is a 50,000 euro down payment to secure your spot. That's all you need up front is the 50,000 to secure your spot in this investment opportunity. The rest of the investment will be due in month 6. So the developer provides 132 up front. You would provide a 50 up front. It's 182. That gets it started. That secures your spot. We need to get your application filed by the last week of March. Then get to month 6. You have to satisfy the rest of the investment. This does come with complimentary stays, 7 days per renewal period. And the guaranteed buyback here happens at year 10. It's the 500,000. And this is expected to be done and open and operational by the end of this year. Again, only 50,000 to secure your spot here because the Golden Visa is ending, and the developer genuinely wants to try and sell this out. So the balance is due in month 6. Again, if you're interested in Spain, it's doable. It can be done, but we need to act fast because the application needs to be submitted by the last week of March. I cannot overstate that. It's a very short time frame. Doable, but you need to act fast. Only requires the 50,000 of the 500,000 to get started because the 132 is there. Now, this is the newest Golden Visa available. Just launched this earlier this week. Latvia. May not ring a bell to most people, but that's not important. What's important is how appealing this program is to some people. It is the lowest cost EU residency program. Starts at 100,000. It is the fastest to approval EU program. If you come to Latvia and we file your application in Latvia, it's a 1-month approval time. If you file it through a consulate in your home country, it'll take up to 3 months to get the approval. But at 100,000 with a 3-month approval time frame makes it very, very appealing to many investors. It is the fastest and the most affordable EU option. Now, it is a 5-year residency permit, renewable 1 time for 5 additional years. It's asset-backed. This is a Portuguese-based hospitality firm that is opening an operation in Latvia for this program. So they built this in partnership, working alongside the Latvian government. It's actually been running for a few months. They were like a beta run. They were testing it. Approvals have already been done. So then it got to sign off, and then it was launched officially this week. So what makes this really appealing to me, and when I think about it, is you start the Portugal visa, which can take at least 2 years. And you start this visa, which only takes 3 months. This would give you EU residency and EU residency access to the EU nearly immediately. Then at year 5, when you switch to your citizenship in Portugal, you would then opt in to get your buyback in the Latvian program. The Latvian program guarantees your 100,000 buyback. which you can activate from year 5 to year 10. And then, that's it. Once you when you move from in your Portugal from year 5, you do your citizenship, activate your buyback here, get your 100,000 back. In year 6 in Portugal, activate your buyback there, get the 500,000 back. You now have your Portuguese EU citizenship. Your investment buybacks have been done, and you're now where do you want to go in the EU? You've had access since month 3, and now you have citizenship. You go live wherever you want in the EU. I find that very appealing personally. It's up to you how you think about it, but I find it very appealing. The hospitality firm behind this does have worldwide presence, so you do get a 7-day stay with this visa, and you can use that at any of their hotels anywhere in the world. You don't have to stay in Latvia. Latvia does have a 1-day in-country requirement kind of thing during each of the 5 years or each of the 10 years, depending on how long you're going to push it. But you just spend the day in the country, come to the EU, spend the day in Latvia. Latvia is actually a beautiful country, to be honest with you. It's a wintry country, not like the south of Europe, in Spain, where we have in Portugal, where it's like eternal summer. Latvia is a cold country. It does get cold there. But if you're a skier, there's a lot of opportunity there. But so this is the newest Golden Visa on the market. It is EU, most affordable EU, fastest to approval for EU, and there's an opportunity there should you be inclined to pair it with the Portugal Golden Visa as a power play, which takes me to the next slide. I built this power play before the Latvia program was launched. So the Latvia program is genuinely my number one power play, but this one is also an interesting combination. St. Kitts, public benefit, 250,000. Portugal, Porto, Gaia, Riverside, 399. That totals, again, we have conversion issues here, so bear that in mind, approximately 665. In year 6, you're going to get the Portugal buyback of your 500, which is approximately 520 buyback. And that's going to render an ultimate investment of around $145,000, $150,000. But you're going to end up with 2 passports because remember, in Portugal, you're transitioning to citizenship in year 5. So you're going to end up with triple citizenship in 5 years. Passport 2, the St. Kitts, through the public benefit, you'll have in year 1. Passport 3, Portugal, you'll have in year 5, plus your original passport. That's 3 passports. And if you use the Porto Gaia Riverside opportunity, you'll have an ultimate investment around 145, 150 when it's all said and done. If you decide to go the no frills investment in Portugal, then you'll be around the 425, whatever, in that area, because again, conversion, which is still less than the Portugal program by itself, which is a 500,000 euro investment. So it's a power play in that aspect where you're ending up as a triple citizen by year 5, and your ultimate out-of-pocket investment is a fraction of what it would be otherwise. These 3 passports together, EU, Brazil, China, Hong Kong, Japan, Russia, in addition to whatever your current passport is. Now, if your current passport is US or British or Australia or Canadian, you just went to the moon here. If your current passport is on the weaker spectrum, such as like India, these 2 passports are a major power play for you in that aspect then, because you just pretty much opened up most of the world. And again, residency rights, Portugal, all of the EU, and again, as we discussed with the CARICOM relationship, you're looking at the residency rights in at least, 3 dozen countries around, mostly Europe, but, around the world, and plus whatever your current passport offers you. So again, triple citizenship, year 5, major power play in my mind, and you can see how those numbers work. St. Kitts is visa free to 106 countries. Portugal is 130 countries, then include whatever you've got. But look at what those countries are: Brazil, China, Hong Kong, Japan, Russia, South Korea. I mean, real deal stuff here. Okay. So let me just jump to this slide because this is the important slide. for all the legal kind of stuff. And I'll give you a few minutes to look at that. This happens to be Porto, a picture of Porto at sunset along the Douro. And this is me. Again, my name is Julian. I have multiple citizenships, multiple passports, multiple residencies around the world. This is my information. You can email me here at this email address. This is my Instagram. This is my Substack. In case you have any questions later, you might find the answers into those articles. This is my website. And on LinkedIn, I have a newsletter that I publish. I try to publish every 2 weeks, but once a month. And if you scan that great QR code there, that'll take you to my LinkedIn page, which will take you to all the rest of it. That's a really good picture of me, I think, why I put it there. And I can see on the list of questions, I have answered them as we've gone on, so there are no unanswered questions left. I'll give you a few more minutes. Should you have any questions that I haven't yet answered that you want to post, but again, just email me and we can set up a consultation. It's free, just requires you to invest your time because I'm willing to invest my time into you, and then we will go from there. But as I've answered all the questions that have been sent so far, I'll sign off here, say thank you, good night, and I remain at your service and disposal. Just send me a message. Thank you for joining me tonight. Have a good night, rest of the day, wherever you are, and thank you.